Hello everyone, welcome to lecture series on computer organization and architecture. So today we'll discuss lecture number 2 of module number 1. Contents covered in the previous lectures was computer types, basic functional units of a computer system. We have discussed what is computer, what are the different types of computers, as well as even we have discussed various functional units of a computer system. So namely we have discussed input units, output units, memory, arithmetic and logic unit, as well as control units. So these concepts were discussed in the previous lecture. So contents covered in the today's lecture are basic operational concepts, that is how program is going to get executed by the processor. So learning outcomes: after this lecture the students will have a better understanding of basic operational concepts of a computer system. So now what is this basic operational concept is? So basic operational concepts, mainly it is going to deal with how a program execution is going to take place by the processor. So normally you consider any processor, the purpose of the processor is to execute the given task, or it is used to execute the given program. So now how exactly that particular program will be get executed by the processor, we are going to study in detail. So what are the different steps involved while executing any program? So if a program needs to be executed, then program must be placed in a memory. So therefore it also deals with how the data transfer is going to take place between the memory and the processor. So therefore even we are going to study how the data transfer is going to take place between memory and processor. So why this connections, and why we are supposed to consider memory and a processor? Because if a processor needs to execute a program, then program must be stored in a memory. So now we are going to we are going to deal with how the connection is going to take place, how the data transfer is going to take place between memory as well as processor. So as also we are going to discuss regarding the different types of registers involved in the CPU. So this is the diagram which shows the connection between the processor and the memory. So this is the memory component, and entire this box is going to be considered to be as a processor. So wherein it will be involving certain set of registers along with the execution unit called as an arithmetic logic unit, and we have a control unit. So and whatever the registers, whatever the other remaining boxes we have mentioned, these are considered to be as the register. So namely it might be an IR, PC, MAR, MDR, and few certain sets of GPRS. GPRS indicates general purpose registers. So these all comes with the registers, where this is a control unit and this is an arithmetic logic unit. So these are the things available in a processor, and outside to the processor we have a memory. So if any program needs to be executed, then program must be available in a memory. Then a processor can execute the instructions or the program one by one, fetching from the memory. So we require a connection between the processor and a memory. So this diagram shows the connection between the processor as well as the memory. So now we'll come to the point first, register. We'll clear off all the things regarding register which are involved in the CPU. So here we have a term called as a register. So now what is register? So register means it is a storage device which can store a group of data bits. So here register means it is a storage unit wherein it is going to store certain group of data bits. So here the registers will be placed inside the CPU. So as the registers are available inside the CPU, it is very fast to access. That is, any read or write operations can be performed very fast. So and one more thing is that the size of the register is going to depend upon the architecture of the computer. So architecture means it is mainly is nothing but the processing capability of the computer. So how many number of bits it can process. So depending upon that, sometimes size of the register depends upon the total size of the register depends upon the processing capability of the computer. So I hope you got the concept what is register. So register means it is a storage device wherein it is going to store a group of bits. How many number of bits can be stored. It depends upon the processing capability of the computer most of the times, and it will be placed inside the CPU. Registers are present inside the CPU because it can be any data or anything that is placed in the register which are available inside the CPU. It can be accessed very fast, that is read or write operation can be done very fast. So that is, there will be a certain sets of registers available in the CPU itself. So now let us discuss different types of register. So there are two types of register mainly. One is called as special purpose register and another one is called as a general purpose register. So here the name itself says special purpose register. Special purpose register means purely they are dedicated to that particular function itself. So you have to make use of those register for that particular functions itself. You cannot make use for any other sake. So when certain sets of register dedicated for a particular task or to perform particular operation, so those sets of registers we are going to call it as a special purpose register. Coming to general purpose register, so general purpose register means it can be used for any sake. So means it can be used for any purpose, in the sense it can be used to store data, or it can be used to store instruction, temporary results, even it may be used to store some temporary results or final results. So that is called as a general purpose register. So there will be a certain set of special purpose register in any processor. You may go to any processor, a processor will be consisting of a certain sets of general purpose register. So namely few of the general purpose register, most of the time you may come across, if you go to any of the processor, if you are going to check with any of the processor, there will be few set of general purpose register in common. So let us discuss those set of registers which are available in almost all the processors. The first one is called as an IR. IR stands for instruction register. So IR means it is an instruction register. So second register available is PC. PC stands for program counter register. Third one is MAR. MAR stands for memory address register. So next one is MDR. MDR means it is memory data register. So I'll read out it once again. IR means instruction register, PC program counter register, MAR memory address register, MDR memory data register. So next is general purpose register. So in case of general purpose register, we will be having a register notation from there will be general purpose register available in the CPU. Most of the times it will be denoted by the labels by as R0 to Rn. N can be any count. So say for example N5, N6 and R5, R6, R7, so on. So this N can be of any value. So this is regarding register, types of register, special purpose register. Under special purpose register we have IR, PC, MAR and MDR and general purpose registers. So now let us discuss each of the register in detail. The first one is called as an instruction register. So instruction register, in short it is denoted as an IR. So this instruction register, it is used to hold the instruction. So whenever a programmers, we know that it is a set of instructions or it will be a list of instruction. So that program will be executed one by one, that is instruction by instruction. So when we want to fetch, when we are fetching an instruction from the memory, the fetched instruction will be stored in an instruction register. So hence the name itself, as we are going to store the instruction, it is called as an instruction register. Instruction register always holds the instruction of the program. So next comes with the program counter. So program counter means it is a register which is going to hold the address. So normally program will be stored in a memory. So when a program is stored in a memory, every instruction will be stored in a particular memory location, one by one, one below the other. So if that particular instruction needs to be accessed. So then we have to provide the address, so from which memory location the data needs to be, or the instruction needs to be fetched. So that address will be available, that address of the memory location where the instruction is residing. So that address we are supposed to place it in a program counter. So program counter, it is a register wherein it is going to hold the address of the memory location from where the instruction needs to be fetched from that particular memory. Okay, so this is called as an program counter. So if you want, so if here we have a example program. So I have an program here. So program means it is a list of instruction, or it is a set of instruction. Let us consider one example program. I have a program here. This program is consisting of 2 instructions. So this is a program. Okay, so this program will be stored in a memory. So memory will be consisting of a memory locations. So this is the first memory location, this is the second memory location. So in this first memory location is having an address, this one. So this is the address which needs to be stored in the program counter. So if I give the address, then only the program can be fetched from that memory location. So if I know the address, then only I can go to the particular destination. So if I don't know the address, I cannot go to any particular place. So here also same thing. So if I simply ask this program to be executed by the processor, it should clearly know where that program is residing, or in which memory location that program is residing. So therefore you are supposed to provide the address where this particular program is available. So therefore this address needs to be stored in the program counter. So address can be anything. It's here in general I have taken some value 000010. So this address can be stored in the program counter. Okay, so this is regarding program counter. So next comes with one more register available is a special purpose register is MAR. So now MAR stands for memory address register. So memory address register also holds the address of the instruction that needs to be fetched. So normally for the first time the program counter is going to hold the address of the first memory location, and next is memory address register. Memory address register also holds the address of the memory location from where that particular instruction needs to be fetched. So don't get confused with the program counter and memory address register. Ultimately both are going to hold the address of the instruction from where the instruction needs to be fetched, but at any given point of time, memory address register it is going to hold the address of the current instruction that needs to be fetched, whereas program counter is going to hold the address of the next instruction that needs to be fetched. So program counter always going to point to the address of the next instruction that needs to be fetched, whereas memory address register is going to hold the current instruction that needs to be fetched from the memory. So next comes with memory data register. So memory data register is going to hold the data. So here data word, it can be either an instruction or it might be an exactly data. So data is nothing but it can be a numbers, binary number or hexadecimal number, whatever it is. So that data will be stored in the memory data register, or once the instruction is being fetched from the memory, you can directly initially first you can store it in a memory data register. So last is general purpose register. So there will be a certain set of general purpose register. So you can see here we have a n GPRS. GPRS stands for general purpose register. So R0, R1, so on. There will be a certain set of register which can be used for general purpose sake. So there is no specific operation. So it can be used for any other purpose. That is mainly register means it is used for storage device. They are not a dedicated one. Okay, so that is called as a general purpose register. So now we'll move to control unit. So here we have one more component, or the one more unit that is available in a processor is a control unit. So control unit, it is used to generate the control signals. So what kind of a control signal it is going to generate? It might generate a read signal or a write signal. So read and write signals are the control signals that required whenever we want to perform any read operation or write operation. So now what is this read operation or write operation? So read operation is nothing but whenever we are going to access any information from the memory, we are supposed to that is control signal is going to issue the read control signals. So if it wants to store any information in the memory, then write signal will be issued. So read means fetching the information from the memory is called in order to do that we call it as a read operation. If that read operation needs to be implemented, then read signal needs to be issued. So and one more thing is that write operation. Write operation, it is for storing the information to the memory. So if I want to store any information to the memory, then we have to perform the type of the operation, we call it as a write operation, and in order to do that we require a write signal. So next is ALU. ALU, we know that it stands for arithmetic logic unit. It is used to perform arithmetic and logical operations. So we are going to come across one word called as an operand. So what exactly operand is? So before going to understand the next concept, we need to know what is this operand is. So operand means usually it is a data. So that data may be available in a memory, or it might be available in any of the register. So here if you go with this particular program, so I have written one instruction here, MOVE R1 comma R0. So here R1 and R0, they are the operands, whereas MOVE is an opcode. Coming to the next instruction, ADD LOCA, it is one of the name of the memory location, comma R0. So here this part we call it as an operands. Operands is nothing but it is a data. So that data might be available in any of the register. So here R0, R1, again here I have used R0. So these are the general purpose registers. So the data might be available in the any of the registers, or it might be available in a memory location. LOCA is the name of the memory location. Any name can be given. So for example here they have taken it as an LOCA. So these we call it as an operands. So operands are nothing but they are the data, so wherein it can be available in any of the register or in any of the memory location. So this is regarding operand. So now next we'll move to memory. So we know that memory, it is used to store the information. So here the type of the information we are going to store it, we call it as an a program or the data. So basically when we are going to store any information, we are going to specify it is which type of memory. So the two types of memory are called as an program memory, and depending upon the type of information that is stored. So we have two types. One is called as an program memory and another one is data memory. So what is this program memory? So program memory, it is a part of the memory wherein it is going to store the program. And data memory, it is again a part of the program wherein it is going to hold the data. So we have discussed what is register and types of register, and I have discussed control unit, ALU. So all these things are available in a processor. So next we have discussed one important concept called as an operand. Operand are nothing but a data. Coming to memory, so in a memory we can make a we are going to make a classification depending upon the type of information that is stored in a memory. One is called as a program memory and another one is a data memory. So program memory is nothing but where the program is available, and data memory, it is a part of the memory which is going to hold the data. So now the thing is that we are going to discuss the stages of the execution. So now why we require the stages of execution? So here when we want to execute any program, it will be coming across certain stages. So those stages we are going to discuss. So memory, it is going to store the program. So if that program needs to be executed by the processor, so then that program needs to be brought from the memory and then it will get executed by the processor. So here how which are the different stages it is going to come across while executing. The first one is called as a fetch. So fetch indicates that instruction program means it is a set of instructions or a list of instruction. So that particular instruction, or consider the first instruction, the instruction that we are going to fetch it from the memory. So that stage of execution is called as the fetch stage. So second stage is called as a decode stage. So decode stage means it is going to come to the point what kind of operation it has to perform, whether it has to perform an addition operation, subtraction, any logical operations, any shift operations, those kind of identification will be done under the decode stage. So third one is execution, that is nothing but implementation. Fourth stage is write. Write means we are going to store that information either back to the memory, or it may be sent to the outside output unit of the computer, or it may be stored in the processor register itself. So these are the stages of the execution. So now we'll discuss exactly the operating steps, how exactly the processor is going to execute the program. Program means it is a list of instruction. So how exactly it is going to do that? The very first step is program resides in the memory. We know this program must be stored. If I want to execute the program, with the help of the input unit we are going to type the program. So once the program is typed, it will be ultimately saved in the memory. So program is going to get saved in the memory. So program is residing in the memory. That is, usually it is going to get with the help of the input unit. So now execution has to begin now. So if a program needs to be executed, the second operating step is execution of the program starts when the PC is set to point at the first instruction of the program. So that is, if a program needs to be executed, then I have to go for the first stage. What is the first stage? Fetch stage. So if I want to fetch that instruction from the memory, then I have to know that address. So that address where it will be available, that address will be available in the program counter. So execution of the program counter starts when the program counter is set to point at the first instruction of the program. So now it is program counter is going for the first time when we begin the execution for the first time. So program counter should point to the first instruction of the program. So now the contents of the program counters are transferred to MAR. What is MAR? It is a memory address register. So transfer the content of the program counter. I told that program counter and memory address register are similar. So both are going to hold the address of the instruction that needs to be fetched from the memory. So therefore program counter contents are transferred to the memory address register. So once that address is available in a memory address register, then it is required to issue the read control signal. So read control signal is issued by the control unit so that read operation can be performed. So what is read operation? A read operation is nothing but fetching that instruction from the memory. So read control signal is sent to the memory. So next is, after that particular time memory after the time required to access the memory elapses, the address word is read out of the memory and loaded into the memory data register. So once the read control signal is issued, so after certain amount of time, so the data or that instruction will be fetched, or it is going to get read out from the memory and it will be placed in the MDR. What is MDR? MDR is now it is a memory data register. So now fifth step is, now the contents of memory data register are transferred to instruction register. So we know that instruction register is going to hold the instruction. So what is memory data register? Memory data register is going to hold the content that has been fetched from the memory, and finally that is transferred to the instruction register. So at this point of time, now the instruction is ready to be decoded and executed. So what is decode now? Decode is the second stage of the instruction. First stage is fetching is finished. Now second stage is decoding. So decoding means we are going to come to the point what kind of operation needs to be implemented, and finally it is going to get executed. So in order to execute, if a program needs to be executed, then instruction may involve a certain operation. So it may include any operations, any arithmetic or logical operations. So if that kind of an operation needs to be performed, then I have to take the help of the ALU unit, arithmetic logic unit. So if I say if that particular instruction needs to be executed, it may be necessary to obtain the required operands. So what is operand? Operand is now a data. So that particular data needs to be obtained. So instruction means it is going to give the instruction what kind of operation needs to be implemented. That is called as an instruction. So I'll be saying something that is called as an instruction. If the task needs to be implemented, then I need certain relevant information. So that information is now called as an data. So data is nothing but it is an operand. So instruction always instructs what kind of an operation needs to be implemented. So once the instruction is given, so you have to perform this operation. In order to perform that operation, I need an operand. Operands are nothing but data. So now, and this particular operand, which is a data, it might be available in a memory. So then it might be available in a memory, so that therefore if the data needs to be fetched, then you have to give that address. So where the data is present, so then you are supposed to give that address. So that address will be placed in a memory address register, and then we have to initiate a read cycle. So that is, after initiating a read cycle, we can access the data from the memory. When the operand has been read from the memory, so that will be placed in a MDR. MDR means it is memory data register, and finally the content of an MDR will be transferred to the arithmetic logic unit. So similarly, it may be required not only one operand. You may require to access two operands, two such operands. So therefore, after one or two such repeated cycles means one or two such operand accessing. So fetching a data, but that is issuing a read cycle, fetch one more operand. Again, after reading the data, you can transfer it to an ALU. So further, the ALU can perform the desired operation. So if the result next 10th operating step is, if the result of that operation is to be stored in the memory, then result again it should be, see, once the arithmetic logic unit is going to execute that particular instruction with the help of the operand, ultimately it is going to produce certain result. So that obtained result where I have to store, suppose if it needs to be stored in the memory, then it should be sent to an MDR. That is, after execution, the data from the arithmetic logic unit, it will be sent to an MDR, memory data register. So once it is available in a memory data register, if I want to store it in a memory, then I have to specify the address of the memory, that is in which memory location that result needs to be saved. So therefore, address of the location where the result needs to be stored, it is sent to an memory address register. So after storing the address in a memory address register, write cycle is initiated. So write cycle, it is used for write operation, or it is used for storing the data available in a MDR to an memory. So that is while performing all these things, the in between, the content of the program counter are incremented, so that program counter points to the next instruction that needs to be fetched and executed. So program counter always pointing to the address of the next instruction to be fetched and executed. So till performing all these 11 number of steps, in between the program counter contents will get incremented by the one by one, and finally again the content of that program counter will be transferred to an MDR. So here we'll discuss with the help of the diagram. So now the first thing is that program counter will be pointing that is program counter will be pointing for the program counter will be pointing for the first instruction in the memory. So now if that program counter contents will be transferred to memory address register. So now once the program counter memory address register is pointing for the first address of the memory location, so then by issuing the control signal, so memory control unit is going to issue the read control signals. So once the read control signals is issued, then that particular instruction it is brought to an memory data register. So from memory data register, that instruction it is going to get copied to an instruction register. So here we are going to copy it into an instruction register. So now at the point of instruction register, the instruction register is going to hold the instruction which is ready to decode and get executed. So now this thing will be transferred to an arithmetic and logic unit. So once that it is transferred to an arithmetic logic unit, if that instruction needs to be executed, it may consist of an operands, means operands is nothing but data. So that particular operand needs to be fetched. So again memory address register it is going to give the address of the data memory part. So where the program is called stored, we call it as a program memory, and where the data is residing we call it as a data memory. So from the data memory it is going to fetch the data. So that data memory address register is going to store it is going to hold the address of the data memory where the data or the operand is available. So again control signal is going to issue the read signal. So that data will be copied from memory to MDR and it will be sent to an arithmetic logic unit. So now arithmetic logic unit it is going to execute that instruction and it is going to produce the result. So now the produced result, if it needs to be sent back to the memory, again that result will be stored in an memory address register. So from memory address register it needs to be saved to a memory. So therefore one more control signal will be issued by the control unit. So that is it is going to issue a write control signal. So write control signal is issued. Once the write control signal is issued from MDR, the result will be stored back to the memory. So this is the operation how it is going to get done. That is how the program is going to get executed. So that is, you may take one example. So program, I have an address, I have a program. So these are the two sets of instruction. So first this instruction address will be stored in a program counter for the first time. So now from program counter it is copied to memory address register. So after memory storing this information to a memory address register, read control signal will be generated. So read control signal will be generated. So finally from after issuing a read control signal, so this instruction it will be fetched from the memory location and it is copied to an MDR, memory data register. So after copying it to an MDR, that will be transferred to an instruction register. So when it is available in an instruction register, it is ready to get executed. So now this process getting the instruction from a memory, it is to an MDR, we call it as a fetch stage. So now the instruction is available in an instruction register. Now it is ready to get executed. That is in the form you can decode and execute. Decode means we are going to identify what kind of operation needs to be done. So further it will be transferred to an ALU. So now ALU is going to analyze this instruction. It is asking to move R1 comma R0. Here R1 and R0 are the operands. The data is available in the register itself now. So copy the content of an R1 register to an R0 register. So therefore it will check out the general purpose register. So here we have a general purpose register R1 R0. So there it is going to copy the content of an R1 register to an R0 register. So here that process will be done. So this copy will be done. So after doing that, even the data might be available in a memory also. So that operation is performed. Again, while doing this much operation, automatically the program counter will be pointing to the address of the next instruction. So now once in between, this operation will be done automatically. So once this execution of this instruction is completed, now content of program counter is transferred to memory address register. Again control unit is going to issue a read cycle. So this instruction, that is a second instruction, will be fetched and it is copied to an memory data register, and again it will be transferred to an instruction register, and from there it will be transferred to an arithmetic logic unit. So once it is done, now it is going to check out this instruction. The instruction says add LOCA comma R0. So LOCA is the one of the address of the memory location. That contents needs to be added with the content of an R0. So now here it comes to fetch the operand from the memory, that is data from the data memory. So therefore LOCA address will be copied to an memory address register. LOCA is the address of the memory. So that address is going to get copied to a memory address register. Again read control signal is issued. The what data that is available in a LOCA memory location, that data will be again copied to an MDR. So that is from memory it is copied to an MDR. So from MDR it will be directly transferred to an arithmetic logic unit. So this is once the arithmetic logic unit performs this operation, it will be sent it is going to produce the result. So this is regarding how that is basic operational concepts, how the program is going to get executed. Thank you.